conference. One, of course, is Anders Rasmussen. Now, on the very first day, we photographed Anders Rasmussen, and we were almost immediately able to confirm his presence, and which, of course, ties into the revelation that they're planning to expand the war in Libya beyond the end of the year. The cost of the war is already at $750 million, scheduled to rise over $1 billion in the coming weeks. So Rasmussen is basically here to coordinate the policy to deeply entrench the United States and the NATO powers further into the war, the bombardment, no-fly zone against Libya. We're going to go to some music now. We're going to come back with interviews with activists here at the Bilderberg 2011 protest. It's the Alex Jones Show live. Stay tuned. We're going to go to some music now. All right. Back live on the Alex Jones Show special broadcast edition, live from St. Moritz, Switzerland, site of the 2011 Bilderberg meeting here at the Savretta Hotel. We were going through the attendee list before. Another subject that we need to cover is the presence of the Chancellor of the Exchequer of Great Britain, a man named George Osborne, and some local We Are Change activists from Birmingham actually tried to contact his office, as well as Charlie Skelton, the Guardian writer, to get some kind of response as to why the British Chancellor of the Exchequer is here meeting with the global elite. And we've got John from We Are Change Birmingham to discuss that further.
Thanks, Paul. Yeah, yesterday somebody realised that obviously George Osborne was present, and that as a British citizen we would obviously possibly be paying for his presence here. So a few phone calls were made to the Conservative Party, to his offices. They initially didn't know where he was for the weekend. They'd never heard of the Bilderberg group. They were very sketchy as to where he was. But after numerous phone calls, they did get back to our source and did inform us that, yes, he was obviously here, and he was here as the British Chancellor, acting as the Chancellor of the Exchequer. Now, obviously, the fact that there are not just military, but large CEOs of corporations meeting with the Chancellor of the Exchequer of the United Kingdom is obviously quite worrying for, would be worrying for many Brits. So really the point is that they are covering the fact that they are here and saying, yes, I'm here as the British Chancellor of the Exchequer, but they are not saying who paid for them to get here, where the funding was, whether they were supposed to be doing something else here, and obviously what the minutes are. And as the British Chancellor of the Exchequer, they should be giving detailed reports on what is discussed. And obviously, as most of the listeners know, there are no reports that come out of Bilderberg unless they are leaked. I have another source, Tony Gosling, who said that there was a little bit of a coincidence or a similarity between an 18th century group called the Hellfire Club. And apparently the Chancellor of the Exchequer was actually cut out of the government after 1 year, was kicked out because of the unpopular cuts that were put into place. And what Tony was just recently saying to me was that it was quite possible that Mr. Osborne is actually being set up to obviously take the rap for the austerity cuts in the UK that obviously the bankers have engineered probably a few years ago at the Bilderberg meeting. And this Hellfire Club apparently was a similar organisation to the Bilderberg group, but in the 18th century. So I thought it was worth mentioning that. I'll pass you back to Paul Watson.
John of We Are Change Birmingham, talking about the attendance of the Chancellor of the Exchequer in Britain, George Osborne, at the 2011 Bilderberg meeting. Obviously, another major story to come out of the conference was an incident that happened late on Thursday, a couple of days ago. Here's the headline from The Local, which is one of Switzerland's biggest news websites. MEP bloodied sneaking into Bilderberg Hotel. Italian MEP Mario Borghesio was reportedly given a bloody nose on Thursday as he attempted to sneak into the secretive Bilderberg conference in San Moritz. Borghesio, right-wing Italian party Lega Nord, was reportedly with another Italian as he attempted to infiltrate the luxury Sabretta House Hotel where the conference is taking place. And it says Borghesio was blocked by guards from the security firm Securitas, that's the organisation with the all-seeing eye as their logo, who then called in the Swiss police. After having their identities checked, the two Italians were told they could not enter the building. But according to the Italian news agency, ANSA, Borghesio's nose was bloodied during the altercation with the security guards. He told the agency he intends to press charges. So we actually have an allegation of the security guards here at Bilderberg assaulting an Italian member of the European Parliament who asked if he could enter the elite compound. Of course, we had Dominic Betteg yesterday, who basically did the same thing as Borghesio. He wasn't met with such a violent response, mainly because there were about 200 camps trained on the incident. And, of course, they'd known about it in advance because it was announced earlier in the day that would happen. So we're going to talk to more activists here. Got a build crowd for this noon Bilderberg 2011 protest. The Saturday, the Bilderberg members are going to be leaving tomorrow, so we're going to be getting all the footage. And we're going to shortly hand back to Aaron Dykes to host the rest of the show. We're going to run until about the top of the hour, and then we're going to come back with a broadcast later on this evening. We'll announce the time for that shortly. We're here at Bilderberg 2011 protest. Going to hand back now to Aaron Dykes for more on the latest information coming out from the elitist confab. Here's Aaron Dykes.
Paul, I haven't even told you about this, but we actually have another bombshell inside source. Obviously, I can't get full details on. We have one of the activists here, obviously I'm not going to name him, has a personal relationship with the manager of the hotel. He's been trying to contact him over the past several days. That is the manager of the Suvretta Hotel. He hasn't been able to reach him yet, but perhaps after the conference is over, he may get him to speak on certain topics, or we don't know yet if he'll disclose any information at all. But in past years, Tucker has absolutely relied on hotel employees and personnel for leaks about the agenda. In the past, the list has been gotten by various maids and hotel clerks who found it in the trash can and pulled it out and handed it to Tucker. So we don't know yet if this source will develop anything at all, but it's another potential bombshell source from directly inside the Suvretta Hotel. Obviously not a member of the Bilderberg meetings, but one of the hotel managers. I'm not sure if there's kind of a chain of command on the staff or if there's multiple managers. We don't have a name at this time, and I'm not sure if we should disclose it at any rate. But we will get back to you if that source develops any bombshell information. Just getting back to the fact that people have shown up to protest Bilderberg, the numbers are beginning to climb here on the Hill. People are spread out in a festival or almost kind of Woodstock of the people, kind of gathering signs everywhere telling Bilderberg to go home, telling them we don't want you here, saying New World Order. A lot of them very interesting signs. Yesterday there was a sign kind of depicting Mr. Burns from The Simpsons as one of the Bilderberg meetings. Mr. Burns, of course, really profound caricature of David Rockefeller. They're always using various schemes to prolong his life and exploit his wealth. And I believe, I could be wrong about this, but I recall a number of Simpsons episodes where they've referred to the character Mr. Burns being a Yaley, well, certainly a Yaley and possibly even a Skull and Bones member. That's not the case for David Rockefeller, but Mr. Burns is sort of a composite. The only reason I mention that is because he was on the sign for Bilderberg to get out, and it's kind of an interesting way to get the message out. The numbers are not the kind of thing you would see at a mass demonstration, but it is the people here telling Bilderberg to go home. We've also received reports that one of the socialist youth groups is planning to protest. We've not seen any sign of them yet, but perhaps they'll show up later in the day. It'll be interesting to see exactly what they're here to protest. I've been talking with various of the activists here, especially those who are based in Switzerland, and one of them had contact with some of these socialist members who kind of mocked and ridiculed the so-called conspiracy theorists here protesting Bilderberg. But why exactly it's a conspiracy theory, I don't know. We know for certain that they are meeting in a cabal fashion, setting the world agenda. And really, if you want to get right down to it, all these activists are saying is, number one, we need more transparency. We can't have government and supranational governments, national governments and supranational governments, and various quasi-government entities, as well as some of the most important people in business, meeting in secret. Even if what they were doing is good, it allows them access to insider trading, first bids, the ability to control new markets and steer the direction. And the things happening online is just one of the many aspects of that. The other thing beyond transparency is obviously a lot of these anti-New World Order protesters clearly object to the globalization. We touched earlier on how Tucker and others, as well as Dominic Bedek of the Swiss Parliament, have broken down the agenda to try to bring Switzerland to its knees, one of the most sovereign and proudly sovereign countries still remaining. They are not part of the euro. They are not part of the European Union at this point in time. They have a very strong currency value. Generally, it is above the dollar. It's roughly on par with the euro. They would like to see Switzerland become part of the euro, become part of the European Union, but clearly the people here in Switzerland are very much against that. They don't want to be victim to the globalization schemes designed right here inside the Bilderberg meeting at the Suvretta Hotel in 2011 in just picturesque Swiss Alps. Paul Watson, have you got anything else to add right now?
Yeah, I mean, talk about picturesque. The setting for this meeting is in one of the most beautiful places in the world. Switzerland, probably one of the most scenic and picturesque countries on the planet, if not the number one. And the fact that these disgusting criminals are disgracing the